to give as much information, wisdom, words of encouragement as I can, as well as if jail time is necessary, we do that. But I'm here to build people up. So with that being said, in addition to what we do on this program and what you see through the court, I was thinking about, how can I impart some additional life skills as to how I've become a little bit more successful. And one of the things that I do almost to a fault, and it's not a fault, but I'm very particular about it, is planning. So I plan everything out. And of course, the big joke on social media is that if you had any plans going into 2020, you had to throw them out the window because of COVID-19. I recognize that, but I'm still a super obsessive planner, right? And it became such a thing for me that I created a planner. I actually created a planner. I said, you know what? There's so many things that I marked down that I want to do with my life that I think would help, but I couldn't find a planner that had everything that I needed. So I created a planner. And as a matter of fact, what I'm going to do for you guys, at some point, everybody that's on the screen, when you go back to, I don't know how we're going to do this reporting, but I'm going to get you all one of my planners, the ones that I did for 2020. It's going to be free to you. I just so happen to have one behind me. But basically, it's called the Master Planner 2020. When I first came out with the planner, it was huge. It was 8.5 by 11 because I like to write. So I had all this space, but then I realized that planner was hard to take around. So I condensed it. I've revised it, and it has pretty much everything that you would need for your week. It talks about, your gratitude in the morning. So you start your morning. What am I grateful for? That's the first thing we do. And then you have a checklist for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Did you, do something for your physical advancement, your mental advancement, your spiritual? So you just put a check mark there. And then I have what's called power moves for the week, as well as wins for the week. So wins for the week is something like I followed my own intuition, or I limited distractions. So if you were able to limit your distractions for the week, you'll check that out. I took action despite of fear. Oftentimes what keeps us from being as great as we want to be and great as we need to be is that we have fear, and all of us have that. I took full responsibility for my actions. Let me stop there for a second. So I'm dealing with a situation in court, and as you all know, because you've been to my court, I have a team of people that work for me, my staff, and we had a small issue that was presented to me today. And I will say this, for everyone that's been in my court, this is the insight to why you may be sitting in the courtroom and I may be not there, and you're thinking, where's the judge? When is he going to start? From the moment I walk in the building, it's nonstop, challenge after challenge, issue or things that I have to, fires I have to put out. So today I have one of my clerks that came to me with an issue about someone who filed something incorrectly, a lawsuit. So they're asking me, Judge, how do you want to handle it? What should we do? And as I, sat back and analyzed it once I left the courtroom, I'm thinking, you know what? The first line of defense was a person came through the door to our courtroom and they filed a lawsuit. So the first person they saw was a clerk. That person is supposed to be able to tell by looking at your paperwork, what is this? So if you come into my courtroom talking about you want to file a lawsuit, but the first word reads, so-and-so hit me and I want them put in jail, well, that's a criminal complaint, right? So they should know that. So my point with responsibility is when I go back tomorrow, I'm gonna talk to them and say, you know what, we have to make sure that as we're making this up and we're trying to fix this, let's look at every level of responsibility so that we don't make the same mistake. What are your responsibilities when you get this paperwork? What's the other person's responsibility? So moving that back to the planner, I have a check mark here. Did we have a win for this week? Did we take full responsibility? So those are the things that are in the planner. And I'm gonna get you all one of these, but the reason I'm talking about it is because in this planner, I set up a very specific area that ended in June. And since this is the last class of June, I'm gonna share this with you and we're gonna go through this section and then we'll be done for today with some power. So I had what's called, I'm gonna show you here, but I'll talk about it. It's called the halftime report. And what I say in this part is it's halftime. You are now moving into the second half of this year. Below, I want you to mark your accomplishments to date and prepare to finish strong. It doesn't matter if you haven't achieved all your goals, just reset, keep going, stay in the game, and craft your new vision for the rest of this year. Now, if we look at 2020, if we needed to do this, this is definitely the time to do it. I mean, we're in the middle of a pandemic. The Black Lives Matter movement is really powerful because of all the deaths. We had the death of Kobe Bryant. Just so much craziness has gone on that we really need to reset and get ready to say, this next 6 months, I want to win the 6 months. You know what I mean? We don't want to throw these 6 months away because they're still part of our lives. So we can't allow what's happened from January to June for us to say, you know what, 2020, we need to write it off. We need to reset, you know, hurry up and get 21 here. The problem is we have 6 months to either continue to lose or start to win. And the way you do that is you have to make your plans. So the last thing about this book, and I'm gonna get to what I want to talk about. So I have here the things we got to check off. What were your accomplishments in your personal life, in your career, your fitness? You know, I keep throwing that out, but you know, it's important for us to stay fit and healthy. Financially, what happened financially? Then I have a mark there for service. Did you give any of your time or any of your talent to somebody else? And that's very important because what you will find is that no matter how much money we make and how successful we are, unless you're able to share it with somebody, whether that's a family member, whether that's a friend, if you're not able to share that success, if you don't give those talents away, then you won't be as happy as you can be. So think about it. I mean, I know we probably think in our minds, you know what, those people who are giving money away and giving their time away is because they got so much money, but they don't have to do it. So look at Bill Gates, look at Warren Buffett, two of the richest men in the world. And what they've been doing is spending most of their time now giving their money away. I mean, Bill Gates is trying to spend money to fight COVID-19. Bill Gates has built toilets and things like that in Africa because he knew that they didn't have those particular things. So at this stage of the game, because he's made so much money, he gets his real happiness now by helping other people. So even for us, we don't have to be millionaires, but we should do something to help somebody else. You know what I mean? Whether it's just speaking to a young man on the street, telling a young man, you know, which way it should go. I'll give you an example. I don't want to amp anybody up because that's not what I'm here to do, but I will say this. Lavelle, I was told by somebody, you know, if you don't know, I studied finance before I became a lawyer. And my main passion initially was to be a stockbroker. So I've been investing in stocks and options for years. That's just one of my things I do. And some people know that. And somebody came up to me and asked me about some options and they showed me some things and they said that, Lavelle, they said, you talk to them about investing. I don't know if you remember a conversation, but somebody told me that. But my point is, that's just a small example of how you give away something that you know. You didn't, obviously, Lavelle, you didn't give a dude a couple $1,000s to invest, but you gave him what you knew, which was even more important. See, so it doesn't take money to be the only thing that you can give away. But when you give of yourself, your time, your energy, that's how we can get true happiness. So when we are gauging what we did in the beginning of 2020 and how we want to move forward in the end of 2020, make sure we add to that giving things away, just giving our service, our time. All right, so here's what I want to go through. Here's my outline. All right, so it's halftime. So the first half is over. This is what we need to do. So it's almost like you look at it like this. Okay, July technically is a halftime mark. And the reason I'm so glad we're doing this right now is because July 1st is, what is it? Wednesday. So the beginning of this month, as we always know, July starts with parties, flat out. So this weekend, nobody's going to be thinking about planning for my future, planning for the rest of 2020. What we're going to do is be out there popping firecrackers, barbecuing, hopefully socially distancing. But that's what people do. So that's the challenge. But I want all of us in here, those of us who are serious about your success, take some time to figure out, okay, what do I want the rest of 2020 to look like? Set some goals. So first of all, what I want us all to do, and this is not your homework, I do have a homework assignment. And for those who are new to this platform, after this conversation, I always put up our homework where I tell you what it is. You email me your homework, and that is your attendance. So though I love seeing everyone's wonderful face, your actual attendance is when you send me the work that's required, because the class is so short that we require you to do this homework. All right, so how to deal with your first half. I want all of us to think about what was successful about the beginning of this year. So despite everything that's gone on, we all have to be able to acknowledge there were some good things about 2020 so far. If nothing else, everybody is right here that I'm talking to right now. So none of you are gone. You're not dead, right? I mean, that's one win. So, I mean, truthfully, that's one thing you got to think about. What was accomplished in 2020 so far? Maybe it wasn't everything you wanted to accomplish, but at least acknowledge that. And then the second one is take note of your losses. I mean, we don't really like to do that, but I'm telling you, the way that you grow, the way that we grow, is that we acknowledge the losses that we took and see if there's something in those losses that we can change. So maybe somebody caught a case. Maybe that was an unfortunate situation in 2020. Really think about it. You know, what happened that day? What happened that night that caused me to end up in this situation where I'm on the phone on a Zoom call with Judge Dawson? I mean, really think about it. Because when you think about it, that's the only way that we can change it. You can figure out, okay, you know what? I need to move a little bit differently. I need to make sure I'm making better decisions. Or if I'm in a situation and it gets hostile, I need to remove myself from the situation as fast as possible. So whatever your situation is, note your losses. Maybe you lost your job. You know what I mean? Maybe there was a relationship that was lost. Maybe there was a breakdown in communication with a family member. You know, that happens too. And a lot of times we don't think of that as our losses or as tragedies, but think about it. If you're not communicating with your cousin, your mother, your brother, or somebody, that's a problem. So what is it about that situation that I can change? So note your losses and then identify your opportunities within those losses. So the first opportunity that we just talked about is that you can actually decide to learn from that mistake, right? And then maybe there's an opportunity that you didn't see. So for instance, if you lost your job, okay, I lost my job. What opportunities are out there? Maybe now I have to hustle a little bit harder and I'll get a better job, one that pays more, one that has, you know, a more flexible schedule. Whereas before, when you were stuck working with this particular job, you never even made the time to look for the new job. Or relationships. Maybe something happened in your relationship that was an eye-opener. And you're like, you know what? If that situation didn't occur, maybe I wouldn't realize how he or she would react in this situation. And maybe now I need to know I'm looking for an exit plan. And let me give you this little bit of information. For me personally, I told some of my staff, and it's just interesting that I have staff as an example today. They're a good team, but you know, today they're my example. I told them that what happens in working for me is that I am willing to deal with people making mistakes. That's my thing. You know, you can come back from a mistake, you can learn to do better, but there's certain things that I don't deal with very well. One is a bad attitude, and the other one is disrespect. Because I try my hardest to respect everybody, and I try to bring a positive attitude. When I walk through the door, honestly, no matter what's been going on all night, if I didn't get an ounce of sleep, I walk in, good morning to everybody, right? So what I told people was, what they don't realize about me is that when you are acting in a way that has you have a terrible attitude or your disposition is nasty, I'm in my mind thinking to myself, I'm thinking like Sam. I'm thinking, Sam is working out right now, but the moment I have a chance to replace him, I'm gonna replace him because his attitude sucks. You know what I mean? So to me, Sam, when you came to me with a bad attitude at work, you clicked something on, and now I'm looking like, okay, I don't want that type of energy on my team. So that's an eye opener for me. And though I may not break up with you right now, I'm thinking to myself, that's a relationship that I don't want for my future. You know what I mean? I don't want that relationship for my next level. So even if you are in a relationship and something went wrong, yeah, maybe you're not going to separate right now. Maybe you're going to forgive the person this time, but you need to take mental note as to what went wrong and see if there's an opportunity for either change, growth, or getting out of there sooner or later. It doesn't have to be right away. So first half is over. Acknowledge your wins, note your losses, and look for opportunities. The next thing I have, and this is important, we all have to slow down. With everything that's going on, our anxiety is high. I mean, we have to wear face masks, and then at the same time, we're protesting and we're fighting for justice and we're fighting for our civil rights. With all of that, all of our energy is heightened. And when your energy is way up here, you may make decisions that's not best for you. So when somebody says something wrong, all of a sudden you're going off, or you jump at the first opportunity, or forget about that. I mean, you do something that ends up with you losing your job or going to jail. But if we slow down, and some of you already know I teach a yoga class. Dale, you weren't there this Saturday. I was looking for you. But slow down, take a few deep breaths, and just reassess how you want to approach it. Everything is so fast right now. I mean, really, you got, like I said, Black Lives Matter. Every instance of quote unquote Karen is being posted on the internet. I mean, everything is just so heightened right now. We got to slow it down, figure out what's working for us, what's not working for us, what's going to help us out, what's not going to help you out. Slow down. When you slow down, I have 3 things that you have to do when you do that. One is think. So when you slow down, it gives you a chance to actually think about the situation that you're in. I mean, almost imagine, I had a case in my courtroom, and I don't think anybody's here from that case, but even if you are, don't worry about it. I had a case where there was a lot of fighting. There were some kids fighting on a street in East Cleveland, and then somehow the parents got involved. And my point is, imagine that scene, right? Imagine all these kids and everybody fighting. That's chaos. Quiet.
Hang on one sec. Judges have 1 sec. Judge, you're muted.
There you go. All right. Can you hear me now? I see at least one person didn't leave. Is everybody still there? I don't know what's going on with the signal here. Let me see. All right, there we go. Cool. You guys are still there? All right. It's funny because Jesse I think this happened about what, twice, Jesse? All right. So you never know. The signal's crazy. But let me finish this up. This is important. So remember, we're talking about slowing down. So analyze, think, manage your emotions is the other one. You have to be able to manage your emotions. That means don't get upset. Don't allow yourself to just go off. Let me see where my camera is. There you go. Instead, manage the emotions that you're feeling. Figure out what's going on and determine the best outcome. So when you slow down and manage your emotions, and we'll talk about that as we continue with the Cycle Breaker book, because it really goes into detail about that. Managing your emotions will give you the ability to make good decisions. All right, just a few more points I want to make before we begin to conclude. All right, so halftime. Let's go back to halftime. What do people normally do at halftime? One is you review the first half, so we talked about that. Rest. So slow down is part of resting, right? When I say rest, what I'm talking about for us, when I mean rest, I'm talking restore your energy. So as I mentioned, I do a yoga class on Saturdays that everybody can come to. I think the probation officer told you about it. You have to figure out what's good for your body movement-wise, right? You have to restore your physical ability by movement, meditation. That's important. People don't think about that. Even if, and meditation does not have to be, any technical thing. You don't have to sit in a certain position. You don't have to, do a certain voice with your, arm or anything like that. What you have to do though is slow down and decide for yourself for a moment that you are going to simply stay in a state of meditation. So that's important. Meditation also. And then the last part we're going to talk about after the halftime is you have to regroup. And this is where we're going. So what I want you to do as far as our homework is two things that I want you to do. Actually, it looks like it's getting to be more, but I'm gonna leave it just at this. This is what I want you to do. I want you to set some goals, and I want you to send me via email what your goals are. Now, you can either do one or as many as three or as many as you want, but at least give me one goal that you have for the second half of 2020. So this is what I want you to do. And I think because I'm on my iPad now, I can't really write this out. So everybody, hopefully you will listen to this. Let me see, maybe I can get a screen. Let me see. So this is what I want you to do with your goals. 6 months, right? What is your 6-month goal? So tell me what that one goal is or 3 goals, right? The next one is, that's your big goal, the thing that you want to accomplish by December. Then I want you to tell me, what do you need to do every month to accomplish that goal in December? So if by December you want to have a new job, what do you need to do in July, in August, and September, or whatever, all the way up to make that happen? Then here's the keys. These are 4 things that you want to put down. In order to achieve your goals, what do you have to delete from your life? That's the next question. Then obviously the other one is, what do you have to add to your life to achieve your goal? So let's say your goal is to lose whatever amount of pounds. What do you have to start doing to make that happen? What do you have to delete to make that happen? So those are 2 questions after you set your goal. The next one is not what do you have to delete, but who do you have to delete from your life in order to achieve your goals? And if you feel you don't have to delete anybody, that's fine. That's your answer. So the next one is who. And then the other one is, who do you have to add? So are there a certain group of people, or is there a person that you need to connect with so that you achieve your goals that you have set for you? So here's the breakdown again. Let me see real quick, because I'd like to give you the opportunity to screenshot this. So let me see if I can do that real quick, since I'm not going to lose my connection again. I am claiming it. If I do the whiteboard, let's see. Can everybody see this whiteboard? I think you can. Jesse, you can see that? Because you're the only face I can see for some reason. So I know they're thinking like, why do you keep calling Jesse's name? All right, so goal for December, right? That's the first thing. What's your goal for December? The next one is, break that down for 6 months. So what do you have to do right for the next 6 months to make those goals happen, right? So that's the first one. Then, get over here and see if this works out. Let's see if I can get this other part. And what I'm going to do is delete this, since I have it already, hopefully. Let's see, maybe not. Screen sharing is not the best for me today. All right, the next one is What do you have to delete? That's the one. Number two is, what do you have to add? Number three is, who do you have to delete? And number four is, who do you have to add? So hopefully everybody can see that. How's it? Yep, let me see. I can't move the screen. Jesse, you see that? You're the only person I see. So remember, so maybe you could screenshot that real quick, because that is going to be the assignment for this homework. And the last thing you want to know is, if you don't know this, you're going to send that to my email address, and what I do is then then forward it to my assistant. My email address is Judge William Dawson, spelled all the way out, at gmail.com. And you should, if you forget that, you should be able to connect with me on my website, judgedawson.com. But the email is judgewilliamdawson@gmail.com. Real quick, again, the homework is identify the goals that you have for the next 6 months. Maybe it's one goal that you want to accomplish by December, or it could be as many as you like. Then break down what you have to do over the next 6 months, July through December, to achieve your goal. And then there are 4 more questions. So that's 6 things to do. Identify the goal, break it down for 6 months. The next one is, what do you have to delete from your life to achieve your goal? What do you have to add? Who do you have to delete? And who do you have to add to your life? And that is your homework. And that concludes our session today. Let me tell you this. I will offer this too. So if anybody that's online right now would like to earn some extra credit, and I'm not going to tell you what the extra credit will give you, but it'll be worth it. When we get off the phone or off this call, I'm going to post this to my website. But I'll tell you what it is right now. If you would like to earn some extra credit, and I really hope you do, what I want you to do is, for the next 24 hours, and I found this on Instagram, so I'm using this, it's not mine. I want you to look for positivity in every single situation. So what it says is, for the next 24 hours, let's take every situation and blindly look for the positive, the silver lining, the opportunity, the empathy for others, or anything like that that can positively change your life. So if you didn't get that, I'm gonna put this on my website on the first page on judgedawson.com in the next 10 minutes.